Previously, I asked you to choose one of 6 marble-based series that you think I should reboot and make several times better than the original series. Now, remember how I said in my last video that I'll post another video like this soon after the results have pretty much stabilized? Well, it turned out that the results weren't quite stabilizing. After the first 84 votes on this question, the 2 viewer-based series tied with one another, while the Musical Magentas Marble Race came only 2 votes behind them. Because the results could have appeared completely different if one person had changed their vote to or from one of these series, and because rebooting just one of these series might disappoint some people who would prefer another series, I may as well just reboot all 3 of these series. I mean, the Survival Marble Race came close-ish as well, but rebooting 4 series may be a bit too much for me to handle. For each of these series, I'm going to do the vast majority of the preparation for the entire series before it even starts, then I'll upload or post in the camp's case each part of the series periodically over a specific time period. I'll now talk about each series individually, starting with Musical Marbles, which will have been renamed from the Musical Magentas Marble Race. Much to my surprise, the series was in the lead for a large portion of the voting period, but even more annoyingly, not many people actually suggested what I could do to improve the series. Literally, the only real ideas I got were ones I was going to include in the original series anyway. To this suggestion, Mint would only have been immune for the rounds in part 4. I said part 6 and not part 5 in the video because I was planning to do a rejoin in part 5. Anyway, as 90-something% of you probably know, the original Musical Magentas Marble Race series was inspired by Jack Sparrow's Musical Magentas minigame. However, I was actually originally planning for the series itself to be a single video race like a Beat the Clock Marble Race. I decided to make it an ongoing series instead because the large number of translucent magenta marbles in the scene was making my old surface quite hot, or something like that, I can't really remember, when I was making a test race. However, because I have a more powerful computer now, I'm thinking that I can make the reboot of the series only 4 parts long, with 4 rounds in every part. There's another little twist I'm also planning to add to this reboot. Instead of having just a bunch of translucent magenta marbles, I'm planning on having several different types of musical marbles. Each type will give the marble who touches a different effect, like safety for the next round, immediate elimination, or some could just act like a moving special pad. Think of this as essentially a cross between Musical Magentas and Doc 671's Portal Marble Race series. Now onto the camp. The main reason why I'm wanting to make this reboot a Discord-based camp is because it was kinda hard to think of interesting challenges that only use the functionality YouTube has. With Discord, I can allow contestants to chat with each other in real time and make teammates more connected with each other, which will allow for more interesting and realistic challenges. I'm also currently developing a bot which I plan to use for certain challenges. However, I'm not the most experienced person when it comes to even competing in camps, let alone hosting them, so I'd really appreciate some help with planning and hosting this. If you'd like to help me plan or host this, or even just moderate the camp server, there's a form that you can use to apply in the description. Please note that you won't be able to compete in the camp itself if you help me plan anything, even if you don't go on to help me host or moderate the server. After you apply, I may ask you a couple of questions through direct messages on Discord. Once I've got a decent group who've applied, I'll invite everyone to the server in which the camp will take place. The camp won't start for quite a while for 2 reasons. The planning team will need quite a lot of time to plan the entire camp before it starts, and I'd also like to host it without having to attend any duties throughout the camp. Lastly, let's talk about the fan marble race. I became less obliged to continue the original series because barely half of the remaining contestants even bothered to do part 5's challenge. Because of this, and also because seeing challenges which affect the race would prevent me from recording and editing most parts of the reboot in advance, challenges won't be a part of the reboot of the series. Instead, I'm planning a much more unique twist that I don't think anyone's ever implemented before. However, I don't really want people to steal this idea and use it in their lower effort series, which I'll probably release before my reboot, so I'm not going to reveal what this twist is until the sign-ups happen, which won't be until I've practically finished building all the courses. One thing I will note is that I'll be dedicating not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 parts of the series to courses made by my very own fans, or at least modified versions of them to fit with my style when necessary. If you want to submit a course for me, you'll need Algodo version 2.1.0 and basically anything you can use to upload Algodo files. I'd personally recommend using a Discord account if you have one, but you can upload the scene to Algobox, Dropbox, Google Drive, or any other file sharing service I can access if you don't. Anyway, you'll need to build a course that fits one of these criteria. The marbles used for testing should also have these properties to match the marbles I'll be using. Once you've built your course, you can send the Algodo file to me through a Discord DM if you have an account. For those that don't know, I'm the Marvelous Marbler hashtag 1852 on Discord. If you choose to upload to a file sharing service, please post a link I can use to download the file in the comments. You may send me more than one course if you want. If any course you send gets featured in the series, I'll credit you by putting your name in the video and the description. I won't set an official deadline for this, but I'll post a community post when I feel satisfied with the submissions I've got. I should also note that this is not the sign-ups video for the camp reboot or the fan Marble Race reboot. The real sign-ups video for each of these series will come out once the vast majority of the planning for the series has been done. Now, before I end this video, I'd just like to briefly talk about the renaming of Olive Green. The 3 most popular names suggested in the last form were Fern, Grass, and Clover. Out of these 3 names, I personally think that Grass probably sounds the most appropriate. Although it was somewhat hard to find a hex code for a colour called Grass that's close to what I was aiming for online, Olive Green's original colour is quite close to the colour of the grass in Algodo's default preset. In short, I'll rename Olive Green to Grass. Again, this change won't be visible in Team Marble Race Part 9, since I recorded some of the footage for that before considering the colour and name changes that'll happen soon. Anyway, I think that's about it for this video. Don't forget to do one of these things if you'd like to do so.